I'm Dr. Jeffrey E. Berger, and welcome to Season 2 of the Holistic True Wealth, a series in collaboration with Mupo Entertainment and Mupo TV. Today, I'm doing a very special interview and can't wait to introduce you to my very special guest. But before I introduce him, first, as the CEO and founder of Abundance and Optimum Wellness, and a certified holistic coach, I am of the belief we all should be living a life of abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially today. And as a certified holistic coach, I am taking a finance-first approach to achieving all-encompassing personal well-being by embracing new ways to true wealth in the modern world. Exploring diverse paths opens the door to true wealth in every sense. And today we're facing a paradigm shift that is revolutionizing our futures in ways that are unprecedented. And to remain stagnant is to be left behind. As a global ambassador for an internationally known, innovative, high-tech company revolutionizing the future with today's technologies like real estate, finance, education, AI, and metaverse, I am deeply committed to empowering individuals and communities worldwide to have the opportunity to take advantage of coming in on the ground floor with ecosystems already accredited by industry giants such as Microsoft, Amazon Web Services, just to list a few, to diversify your investment portfolios in this ever-evolving digital world. My mission goes beyond business by providing global-minded entrepreneurs and individuals with new ways to true wealth in the modern world, so you can circumvent the broken systems and go from financial fatigue to financial freedom. It's really about creating opportunities, providing access, and building a more inclusive and supportive digital world where everyone has the chance to thrive. True wealth is not only about money. It's a combination of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial fitness. Myself and my special guests are all about bringing awareness around alternative solutions from all aspects, leading one towards a path to overall true wealth. The mission: provide real solutions for real people who are serious about wanting to go from barely surviving to thriving again. So with that, we're going to take a very short commercial break, and we'll be right back with introducing you to my special guest.
Welcome to DaMeta1. Explore 5 continents of innovation. Step into the future today.
Okay, we are back from commercial break, and with me today is Dr. Tahir Hussain, who is joining us all the way from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Dr. Tahir is a peak sales trainer, author, international speaker, serial entrepreneur, life and wealth coach, real estate developer, investor, is the founder of the Unstoppable Millionaire Academy. And Dr. Tahir has an impressive background in the works of business and technology, and I'm happy to say he has been my life and wealth coach since August of 2022 when I decided to jump in on this journey. And welcome to the show today, Dr. Tahir.
Thank you so much for having me once again, Dr. Jeffrey. It's such a delight to be here, and I'm excited.
Awesome. So am I. So for the viewers who haven't seen you yet, share a little bit about who Dr. Tahir Hussain is outside of your amazing business portfolio that you're building.
So I would think of myself as someone, as a human being who likes to stay connected with nature, spiritual, take life one step at a time, because when you do businesses and investments and so much in the business financial world, you realize that there isn't enough time. And I think that time detox is really important. So I'm a simple person at the core of being a human being. And I think that's how I like it. I love traveling, as some of those who follow me would know. And that gives me a lot of breath of fresh air, fresh perspective. And that's who I am outside business.
Awesome. That's great. And you've been doing a lot of traveling these past couple of months from your shares on social media. So that is awesome. So, today I wanted to kind of preface it that we are here to really speak about DaMeta1, which is an ecosystem that is scheduled to launch in June, July timeframe. And it's built on today's evolving technologies around real estate, finance, education, artificial intelligence, and metaverse for starters. And it is accredited by Microsoft, Amazon Web Services. It's been recognized by Microsoft the Growth X program, and they are a member of the AWS, which is the Amazon Web Services EdTech Accelerator, and it won the Microsoft EdTech Award, just to list a few of the amazing acknowledgments that this company, as well as this product that we're going to be sharing about today, to really educate people about what's going on, because we're really getting very close, getting very excited. So from that perspective with that, what was the very first aha moment or key factor that convinced you to really integrate VR2One into who is an internationally recognized company who is utilizing these technologies into your existing business portfolio?
Well, thank you for that question. It's a great question. I have tremendous amount of passion and love for real estate. I became a millionaire myself and created multimillionaires through the real estate and the property industry. So when I got to understand we are the one group of companies vision and what they want to do in terms of taking the actual brick and mortar asset class and mixing it with the technological world and keeping it real enough, not digitalizing it to a point where you kind of get lost or scared depending who you are,
Right.
but keeping it real. Because I know some of our audience would be listening to this and they're like, this is just too much for me. And I'm like, no, it's not, because you're sitting in a real estate right now, whether you own it or rent it, or lease it. So imagine if we could do both the physical world and the digital world at the same time. Wouldn't that be phenomenal? So that got me intrigued and excited. But over time, seeing the company's growth and the journey and challenges they took over, because it was easy to say no and shut down doors when COVID happened and so much happened with the
Right.
company. Yet the technological growth aspect was something that I had my eyes on with the company, and they kept delivering one after the other, and that got me really to a point where I'm like, you know what, this is something we need to pursue. It allowed me to get educated in the metaverse, what that is all about, firsthand, total immersion, get into the technology, all of that, because that's something I'm passionate about. Like smartphones shifting from Nokia to smartphones. Yeah, I
Right.
am that old. So
Yeah.
that gives you an
And
idea. Yes, go ahead.
no, and I'm part of that era, but I'm also part of the era where we had no cell phones. So technology evolves.
Yes.
And you know what? It's funny that you bring this up, because I really share with people that I'm speaking with. Think about the days back when Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, and Amazon revolutionized their technologies decades ago. This is where we are today. We are at the forefront of a paradigm shift with these new technologies that are taking advantage of the blockchain platform, if you will, to develop amazing technologies that are revolutionizing our future. And it's time to really shift that mindset and thinking and get into your uncomfortable zone to being comfortable around getting educated about this, because it's no different from when computers started back, decades ago. So you bring really great insight to that. So thanks. Um, DaMeta1 is a platform that's built upon technologies, as I mentioned, and this particular platform is around education, artificial intelligence, and metaverse. Right now, there are others that are involved with this, but from DaMeta1's world, it's really crafted from a collective of 5 distinct continents, offering a unique experience. So again, we're in those initial stages, and we are accredited, and we've got so much recognition from this platform. And today, this platform has been really in the forefront in so many different ways. How do these global ambitions and endorsements factor into your confidence in the platform, long-term scalability, and its potential to disrupt traditional sectors moving forward.
Great question once again. Let me start with something that you really did a great job to start with, where you mentioned some of the credentials, some of the awards. Those are some billion-dollar company credentials that we are a part of in the metaverse with We Are the Ones metaverse in specific. And the reason we got that was because of the factor that there were certain deliverables in the metaverse delivered by the one Ilmverse, which is responsible for creating the metaverse under the We Are the
Right.
One group
Right.
of companies. That's why those credentials come in the way they come in, and much more, right, with publications and everything else.
Absolutely.
So, said that, the disruptive part of that is to be at the forefront, be one of the first to do something that most people have dreamt of. I'll give you an example of education. Academically speaking, try changing a textbook in an academic system. It can take years, if not decades, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And then talk about getting those children on tablets and smartphones, which they are on today, to be honest, at least in every major city. Now, try taking them from tablets and smartphones onto the metaverse.
Hmm.
Absolute total immersion, whether it's physics, chemistry, programming. So, what I and you learned in a month, I believe kids would be learning that in a day. What
Correct.
if they are special needs children, including those? Because if
Yeah.
we couldn't read and write, academically, we were told that we are dumb, or we would fail our exams. And as technology grows, and with what metaverse is bringing in all the continents, I'm just touching on the education for now. It's important to understand, if you can visualize taking two molecules of hydrogen and one of oxygen, and a water molecule is created, and you can make mistakes. You can take
Sure.
hydrogen and
Sure.
sulfur to create water, and it will say boom, it didn't work. So it won't, the technology won't shy of students making mistakes. The technology would reward them and be
Right.
interactive with graphics and animation and everything else within the metaverse with total immersion, because all your senses are engaged in it. And I think
Mhm.
that becomes a major breakthrough, not just within We Are the Ones, the metaverse, but also in the world of the metaverse in general as an industry. And We Are the One is just taking that first step forward that I believe
Right.
no one has taken when it comes to
Exactly.
education.
Exactly. No, perfectly said. And, you know, we talk about the platform's long-term scalability, and I just want to preface it with this. Um, that I share in my journey, that as an ex software engineer, I was approached in 2009 to purchase 500 Bitcoin at 0.0017 cents, which was an 85-cent investment. And my response was, nah, sounds like a scam. So today it's sold for over $100,000 per coin. I think it's up to 130,000. But in any event, it was a learning shift. I was not comfortable back then, so I am in my uncomfortable zone, which I'm now comfortable and moving forward with this. But with regards to that long term, because I referenced Bitcoin where it is today, around that high end today, but currently this system that we are talking about has a user base around 500,000, give or take. But the goal by 2029 is to bring on board about 10 million end users. And that's from students to parents to teachers to schools, so forth and so on, which drives up the value of what we're going to be talking about is the DaMeta1 token that's associated with this. So, the vision is there. Are we pioneer thinkings? Are we futuristic thinkers about what are the technologies today that are being developed that are going to change the world, and how can I participate in that? So we talk about this DaMeta1 platform in the final stages. We're getting close to launch. We're so excited about this digital asset, and it's a real world asset because it's attached to a project here. So considering your experience with asset valuation, because you've been involved in this industry for many, many years, what are some of the key metrics for evaluating the potential long-term growth with its projected growth from around 500K to, up to 8.5 to 10 million by 2029?
So first, if you look at the industry and the numbers, and anyone watching this video should actually get back to the person who gave them this video so you can vet the numbers. So there's a massive research team that has done the numbers. And the numbers are not short term. Think about Facebook changing the name Meta.
Mm.
When people were like, what does that even mean? I mean, today, till even today, people are like, what's metaverse? And they've spent over 2 years already to change the name. And I use Facebook because a lot of us, at least 1 billion people are on Facebook, so a lot of the viewers watching this would understand that. That shows long term. They're not in it for short term. We are not in it for short term. We are in it for long term. It's important to understand the first aspect of it, that the goal is not 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and you're done with it. You cannot be done
Right.
with the metaverse. Think of Microsoft as an example, or Amazon as an example, or Apple as an example. They were not selling iPods and boom, now we have made some money, we are done. No, that was just a starting point, investing in the long term. So the same is true about where we are with the one Ilmverse in terms of the metaverse, because it requires expertise, it requires people, full timers
Right.
on your payroll, especially if you have patent rights, copyrights to the technology you're building. And that's what's
Exactly.
happening here. So this is not
Right.
short term. This is not like a third party outsource thing. You pay them some money, build something, launch something, and then you're done. It's very important for audience to understand the long term aspect of it. If I speak about artificial intelligence on the long term, again, it would be a long session, but we have our own artificial intelligence learning how to program educational courses. They're learning as the programmers built it. That's
Right.
long term, because that's what's going to happen. So that's one aspect of long term, right? Now, the financial aspect of it, why the need for it today? Because 3 years ago, I was offered on a white paper, nothing else. No metaverse, no virtual reality, no IT team, nothing. A token which has already appreciated on the dollar value by over 1,200%. It's insane if you do the numbers.
Right. This is true. Yeah, I mean, and so you bring some really great points. Number one is the fact of the patent that is happening right now with our technology, and that's really, really important. And then the growth factor, because this is a time where this type of technology is allowing for that type of growth to be happening in this paradigm shift that we are already in. So we're coming up to the commercial break, and before I go for that commercial break, I want to give you a plug on your book here, The Unstoppable Millionaire. You can find it on Amazon. And I've got 2 copies of this book. So it's a valuable book, and provides great insight with Dr. Tahir's expertise from all aspects of business and personal life as well. I incorporate that into both. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Okay, we are back again. I hope you enjoyed that little short commercial break about VR1 and what we are offering here with this amazing, I call it an eclectic ecosystem. So getting back to DaMeta1, Dr. Tahir, again, this is a unique platform that integrates education, artificial intelligence. It does have real estate. We're going to have a real estate expo, virtual reality real estate expo, which is going to be very, very exciting. But in your opinion, which of the core technologies present the most significant opportunity for, innovation, disruption within the current market landscape with where we are today, especially with the all of the news and the hype about these trillions and trillions of dollars that are coming into the U.S. From Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi and the Stargate acquisition here here in the United States, which is going to be also global. So how do you see DaMeta1 leveraging this synergy to create unique value in its users and investors?
Well, first, you used a very interesting word called disruption. When a technology exists or gets built that's disruptive, billions of dollars are made by investors at the fundamental primary core level, not when it's saturated and matured, at a primary core level. We saw that with Bitcoins when it started getting its first billionaires, and people were like, what's going on? Those who didn't know. We saw that when Facebook went public. We saw that when Alibaba went public, and they've got that amazing logistical system. And there's just so much data about it. And all of these were disruptive in that industry in a particular manner. The Meta is playing a role in that, in the bigger scheme of metaverse. And what that allows us as token holders to do is to be at the ground floor of that disruption before. I believe we'll have three phases to it. I believe the first phase is where what's going on. They're like, phase two would be, okay, I hear you. Phase three would be what? You have no idea what the metaverse is? Which rock were you under? So three phases. What's going on? What's this all about? That's where the majority of the money is to be made. I just give you an example of over 1,000%. That's
Exactly.
nothing compared to a white paper, because that was just blind belief, if you were just a
Right.
piece of white paper. But today, the technology is there, the AI is there, the programmers. I'm downgrading by calling some of our tech PhD holders programmers for lack of better vocabulary, but we have some of them who are world class, state of the art. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the product that we have today, not what we'll have 2 years, 6 months, or 12 months from now. So
Right.
as that product gets evolved, the AI gets evolved. As that gets evolved, guess what starts happening? The disruption starts happening. When the disruption starts happening, what happens to us as investors? You're smiling our way because of what we are holding in that metaverse with the
Exactly.
meta tokens, as an example, right?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That is perfect. And so you talk about being in the forefront here, and considering DaMeta's claim to being recognized as a leading metaverse innovator at events like Leap, which was in Saudi Arabia, a tech crunch disrupt in California, in Silicon Valley, and then Abu Dhabi expos. And there's many more to come, of course. How do you assess its competitive advantage in the rapid evolving digital landscape? And what are the key risks or challenges you foresee with such an ambitious project? And then I do have one more to add to that once you're done answering those two.
Sure. Well, again, lovely question. First, to be at the world's biggest tech expo, no kidding. I was there at Leap in specific, and think of a tech company. They were there, and there was a
Right.
reason they were there. So we played a very important role there, I would say. And knowing that there were probably one other company that was doing something in the metaverse was mind-boggling, which shows that how new the industry is and how much work needs to be done. A lot of those had concepts on what metaverse would look like, but an actual working product,
Right.
almost none. So that makes me feel happy with the meta, as you can imagine, right? So that's point number one. The other point is that the more the global exposure is, like we were there with some of the top tech giants on the main screen. Why is that important? Because from a technological point of view, we don't stand a chance compared to $1 billion company. When your name is mentioned there, it shows that from a product standpoint of view, you've
Right.
done something that has got a lot of eyeballs, a lot of attention.
Exactly.
So has our 12 published media articles, which have been published in international publications, got the eyeballs rolling, because that's the starting point of creating awareness. So is this particular interview. So is this video that you'll go and check us out and what we are and everything else. So I think that's a great starting point. First of all, that you start realizing that being recognized on international publications for a company that is, I would say, a startup, to be honest, compared to the multi-billion dollar companies, public
Right.
listed companies out there. So compared to that, the Meta is just a new kid on the block, but it's
Exactly. Yep.
disruptive because it has a product that works today, and
Right.
that gives me a big smile.
Yeah, awesome. That's great advice. So thank you. So we're coming up to the end of the interview here. So for our listeners who are considering portfolio diversification, what would be your top 2 or 3 pieces of advice regarding evaluating opportunities around DaMeta1, which is again built on these eclectic ecosystems that are revolutionizing our future right now? And the digital asset right now is valued at 70 cents. It started out at 6 cents back a couple of years ago. It's 70 cents now, and it's expected to launch in a couple of months, June, July timeframe, between $2 and $5. What would those pieces of advice be?
So, Dr. Jeffrey, let me break this to you. It's no more 70 cents. It's 80 cents as we speak. So that's
Ah,
already 14%.
okay.
And this, by the way, this just happened in the last 48 hours or 24 hours.
Right.
So
Yeah.
hey,
I was
good.
on there yesterday. It was 70 cents. So it happened in the last 24 hours. Oh,
So that
wow.
has happened. Okay, for the listeners watching in terms of portfolios and diversifications, the first thing that emotionally comes to you is fear because it's charting into unknown territory. I understand that. I mean, I've gone through that. I just give you my own example, starting with the white paper. And the other side of that is what you want to do is do not get consumed by a hype of any investment, whether it's the stock, forex, digital currencies, metaverses, blockchain technologies, or anything else, right? Because hype is not where decisions are made. I'll give you a tip though. The tip is look at the usability and the adaptability of what Meta will look like because every ecosystem where your money comes in or you want to be sure it's safe, you need to look at the adaptability and the users of it. If the user base is expanding and growing, if the industry is expanding and growing, guess what are the chances of your money
Mhm.
failing? Zero, close to zero. So that's what you don't look at the hype again. Like I know there's a hype that, oh my God, Bitcoin is on a bull run. If you don't buy, you'll miss out. Sure, miss out. But rule number 1 of investment is what? Make sure your capital is protected. And to protect your capital, that's what you want to look at, apart from the hype and everything else. Because if your capital isn't protected and if you're unsure, nothing else matters. So, from a diversification point of view, whatever your portfolio is, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10%, whatever risk you want to play with, because we always say all investments are risky, including your real estate, in an act of God, uh, where something happens and there's no control over it. So investments are risky, but to protect and secure your capital should be your
Mhm.
full-time job when it comes to investing that money. So that's very important. And the
Absolutely.
appetite that you are going to take, because if you are in a disruptive market, and Jeffrey just spoke about 500,000 plus users on our Elmverse and eventually on our metaverse, that's that's a very small number, but a substantial number for a token that's 80 cents. When we do 1 million users, 2 million users, that's a conventional business model in the metaverse. What would that mean for the dollar value of the token that you hold, whether it's $2, 3 or 5 or 10? And if you can play your cards correct, or incorrectly, like what Dr. Jeffrey frankly shared with us with Bitcoins and what he was offered, don't let that be your story when it comes to the meta tokens.
Absolutely, and that's great advice. And yeah, it's about getting the right information with regards to making an educated decision. It's all about getting educated and being comfortable that either you're going to be it will be something for you, great. It will not be something for you, great. Okay, but our objective is to share this information with those who are looking to level up in any sense in their life today from a financial perspective, and taking advantage of the technologies that we are actually working with today, and sharing that vision with other people. So, Dr. Tahir, thank you so much for coming on today from your very, very busy schedule, because you're a man all over the world. And I thank you for that time. But before we sign out, really, really quick, for those who are interested in getting some more information, I do hold 5 monthly webinars. And I actually held my very first metaverse webinar last Saturday. I did the presentation in the metaverse, and it was a unique experience for the first time, but it worked. But if you are interested, scan that QR code and just sign up for one of the dates and times that work out for you. And I hope to see you on the inside. And Dr. Tahir, I thank you so much for coming in and spending time with us today. Appreciate it. Have a good day, everybody.